Hi, this is Amy Ryan, and I am presenting my self evaluation rubric for my practicum action plan that was written for Grand Canyon University TEC 591. For my practicum, I've decided to create a curriculum that will allow digital stories to be integrated into the U.S. history curriculum. The rubric that I have written for this program will take a look at technology choice, as well as the manner in which I've broken the technology lessons themselves down, as well as the task analysis of the content. So, first is technology choice. I have a very brief overview of security, the appropriate level for high school students, and the inclusion of citizenship. I want to make sure that the programs that I provide my students are secure within the district firewall and to stay away from anything that would cause distractions or lead students to a site that may be inappropriate or dangerous in the manner of security. Next is appropriate level. Uh, in saying this, I want a program that is pretty much open ended. I want my students to be able to do as much as they can with any set program. So, one trick ponies aren't really going to work with this program. And finally, citizenship. I wanted to make sure that every time my students got online that I focused on citizenship. Now, this seems like a very sparse section of the rubric, but more and more of it will be covered when we go into the content analysis for technology training. One of the keys in the technology skills, I want the students to have this technology as a tool, not as the curriculum. So I've broken this down into basically three parts, excluding the assessment tool. The technology needs to have different applications. They need to be able to do a digital story. They need to be able to edit film. They need to be able to edit sound. So if I'm introducing something that is a complex program, I want them to be able to use it for more than just one thing. I also want them to be able to build on this skill. Can they do something very simple in the beginning using this program and continue to build on it? And is the technology useful to the content? Again, I need to stay away from the one trick pony. Technology is useful to the content. Is it going to support the content or is it going to take focus away from the content? Assessment tools, what I want to focus on is constructivist level. I want my students to have resources that allow them to move on to their own, to start applying what's done in the classroom into a real life situation. And this will lead us to content. Content is a little more specific. Of course, we have the actual history content, the fact that the Constitution was written, you have the Bill of Rights, you have the specific people. You also have the skills for history. So these are aligned with the Arizona Department of Education. I have dinged a little bit extra detail that's necessary to better support a theme. When I included that, that's an aspect of scaffolding. And when we get to the research component, you're going to see more of that. Again, skills are aligned with the Arizona State standards, unless, of course, there's something that's deemed necessary. But I'm counting that as a scaffolding. I put heavily scaffold qualities in the lower category because I wanted to encourage myself or make sure that I focused on bringing my students up to the higher levels. Topics that are PLC approved. The professional learning community, we don't necessarily teach the exact same thing on the exact same day. We do, however, work closely together with our content and our assessments. So it's important that they have a say, that they, at the very least, agree to develop or make plans to develop. But if they don't see the validity, then it needs to be edited out. Theme. Theme is important in history. It's these big picture concepts. This is also where I started to i- incorporate the research. I want the theme to be taught in class with strong and simple content because I want my students to be able to then research outside of the classroom. As I said in my Setting the Stage paper, so many of our students are dependent on others for their information. It's so important to get them to be able to research, to find details, to find facts on their own. And again, this is another scaffolded section where at the beginning some of the lessons are going to score low, but towards the end, the majority of them really should be standalone. And again, the assessment tools. I want my students to reach that constructivist level. These rubrics will be used a number of times depending on how many lessons are written, how many pieces of research, I'm sorry, how many resources I create. So I believe that these three sections will work well with the vast majority of what I'm working on for the Digital Story Project. Thank you very much.